Tell us, Mr. Wayne. What do you fear? How do you know my name? The world is too small for someone like Bruce Wayne to disappear.
Your parents' death was not your fault.
My parents deserve justice.
I cannot let that pass. If you make yourself more than just a man, then you become something else entirely. Which is a legend, Mr. Wayne.
What's going on in the world right now? We had a Running Man remake just come out. I haven't seen it. I just watched Oliver Harper's review of it, and it's kind of a bummer it didn't turn out better.
Yeah, Edgar Wright is normally, well, I don't know. I've not seen maybe the last two Edgar Wright movies, but he was pretty consistent for a while. Surprised he dropped the ball on that one.
Have you seen it?
I've not. No, I just noticed the old Arnie one was being shown on Netflix, so I watched that last night. It's not a particularly great movie.
It's not great, but I'm starting to.
It's fun.
Like, I love the music by Harold Faltermeyer. You know, I have that. I had that on my Zune back in 2008 when I would go to school. You know, and I still remember waiting for the school bus and having that kind of dark synthy this stuff going through my headphones. You know, it's good fun memories.
I tend to do that now. After I watch a film, I'll try and like download the soundtrack or just, listen to it on YouTube, and it just sort of like gives you a bit of sort of epilogue to the film. Watching the film, it keeps it kind of running in your head.
Like Running Man.
Have you ever listened to a soundtrack first and then watched the film?
Never.
See, that's kind of interesting because it means that the music's kind of in your head. So kind of when the themes and the stuff pop up, you sort of recognize them in the same way that you like recognize an actor.
Yeah.
That's it. Yes. I was trying to remember what it was.
I can beatbox even some of the lesser tracks from that movie. I Googled Edgar Wright because I don't know anything about this guy. And I'm looking at Shaun of the Dead. That movie is so funny. Baby Driver. I hate Baby Driver. Hot Fuzz. Never seen it, but it has
must see Hot Fuzz.
Same guys as the Shaun of the Dead. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I watched that with my girlfriend a really long time ago.
Yeah,
cute stuff.
That was the one where he went off to America and sort of did an American style film. He was very British up to that point.
Oh, no kidding. Yeah, I wouldn't have guessed it was the same guy who did those Sean Penn.
Yeah.
Is that his name? The Simon Pegg, sorry. Yeah. I wouldn't have guessed that he did those fucking Simon Pegg movies, and then he did Scott Pilgrim. But anyway, yeah. Oh, right. We're supposed to talk about Batman Begins College, right?
Yes, I just saw that meme that you posted. Yeah, very good, very good. I can't think of one.
I said that like 3 months ago, but I'm glad you saw it finally.
Sorry, man. I'm terrible at getting on Discord, but yeah.
You're terrible at everything, but that's why I like having you on.
I know. That's all right. Let's talk about the title for a sec there. Batman Begins. Good title, bad title?
It provides information. And
it does.
I think it's appropriate because just like took it in a new direction, and we didn't see a lot of like the characters, I guess, upbringing or genesis in the earlier films. So
no,
I think it's a great title.
Yeah, it just always stuck with me as like a weird like Batman Begins. I don't know, just Batman Forever. Yes. I understand that. Like, yeah, he could go on forever, but Begin, I don't know. But anyway, we'll get into it as we discuss the movie.
We are discussing the movie.
Well, I mean, as we're watching
as
the
we're
movie,
watching it. Yeah,
and
that's
then-
fair enough. Yeah.
and things spring to mind. But yeah,
You don't want to blow your load early.
I do not know. Not with this movie. We've got 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Yeah, 2 hours 20. That's a decent amount. There's a lot of plot as well. It begins. I had some trouble on my rewatch keeping up with everything, but I think I get it. For the most part. So 20 years ago, doesn't feel like it's been that long. That's kind of a cliche, but it really doesn't. I was a teenager. I think this was the first movie I drove my parents' car to go see.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool. I had asked my parents, if I could take the car somewhere.
Yeah, my parents never let me drive their car. I always had to wait till I got my own car. Didn't trust me, maybe.
Yeah. Did you see it in the theater?
Yes, it definitely did. Yeah. I can't remember who or what I went to see it with. I guess my girlfriend at the time, my wife now.
Really?
But yeah.
Can we have your wife on sometime?
She doesn't believe this exists. She's like, "You're on a podcast? Are you sure?" I was like, yeah. And people listen to it? Yeah.
Yeah. It's Batman, so there's gonna be
normal
someone.
people. No, not really. No, not so much.
Just talking about like superheroes is it's an easy icebreaker, and Batman's one of the best. And so I've met plenty of friends who we've just bonded over something we used to enjoy, and we still kind of do. And it's nice to see the character still has appearing in films like 30 years later. Like that's wonderful. I didn't know it would be like this, the kind of landscape of film.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting.
I didn't at the time, when I was a little boy watching Forever, I didn't know that the current film landscape would be anything like this.
No.
So as far as I was concerned, Batman Forever would have been the last Batman film, to my young perspective.
Yeah, because that sort of reminds me. So 20 years ago, I was doing my dissertation for university, and I did it on comic book movies, and I did it. So I graduated 2005. So yeah, at that point, like the first few kind of like Marvel-y, like Spider-Man and X-Men and stuff had come out, but we were still 3 or 4 years away from Iron Man and kind of the MCU and everything. And I did a dissertation on comic book movies and kind of their kind of like rise and kind of, I remember writing just pages and pages about like where the trajectory was going to be. And even then, I don't think I really guessed at how, just omnipresent it is nowadays.
No one could have guessed that we'd get Avengers Endgame. No one saw that coming before the 2010s. Robert Downey Jr. was amazing. So people still talk about him. They want him back in the role. They can't leave well enough alone, though. Which is a shame.
I do, yeah. I'm rewatching all the MCU movies at the moment with my kid who's 12, and it's kind of fun. We're still like barely scratched the surface, but we're like Guardians of the Galaxy 1 at the moment. But he's having a lot of fun with them. And I'm just not, I've only seen any of them like once, I think. So going back and seeing them again is, kind of fun.
Yeah. All right, you hosers and you bat heads and you comic nerds, it's movie time. So grab your copy of Batman Begins, put the timestamp to 0, and press play now. So Neil, let me ask you this. Is this movie bad?
No. And I think if I said that, people would instantly switch off. But I will say, like, my history with the film is kind of complicated by kind of three things. One, this is the movie where kind of it changed the way Batman was perceived by everyone else.
Yeah.
So suddenly these older movies, the Burton movies, the Schumacher movies, were now seen as kind of like campy and silly, and this was the kind of cool, serious one. The second thing is I read the script for this before it came out, which was a really, really stupid thing to do because it spoiled the whole movie. I wish I hadn't done that. And the third, which which we'll get into, is I was actually I got to be on the set of this movie as an extra, and I didn't get in front of the camera, which always bummed me out a little bit. But anyway, I'll talk a little bit more about that later on.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the movie, Drew?
How do I feel about it? It's good. But really what I wanted to, I think, it was, I opened this commentary with a joke because like I always ask that, right? What I really should be asking is, do you think this movie takes itself too seriously? You don't have to answer now. We can kind of maybe get into that at the end.
I know there are little kind of bits of levity and humor in it. Like there's the bit with the police and they're like, oh, he's driving a tank. And I just think that's a terrible joke and not funny. So I don't know. Maybe I would want it more serious. Who knows? I don't know. But I think one thing we can agree on is Nolan is a very different filmmaker than Joel Schumacher, and is coming at this material in a completely different way.
He's different from Tim too. I look at this scene here, and it's like, yeah, maybe Burton could have directed a movie like this. Like,
yeah,
he's sort of, the fog kind of reminds me of Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah,
Burton and Nolan certainly use a lot less, color than Schumacher does. But
yeah.
But anyway, I made a note on the logo transition. I think is brilliant. Bat swarm, it cross fades into the scenery whipping by. I think that's wonderful. And then there is immediately we get this leitmotif by Hans Zimmer, this kind of, and which he uses a lot in these movies, and he also uses it in Mission Impossible 2.
Oh God, yeah. It's him and is it James Newton Howard collaborating on this one, and then I think the two sequels were Zimmer solo.
Oh, James Newton Howard, yeah. You're not the devil, you're practice. He says that to the prison guard or the prison inmate that jumps him. And it reminded me so much of something out of Batman Forever. We got, hi Freeze, I'm Batman. You're not the devil, you're practice. Funny enough, I could actually see George Clooney in this role. If he hadn't have already played Batman once before, I think he would have been good.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Could you see any of the other actors who would? I know Cillian Murphy auditioned for Batman, like as Batman, for this.
Oh well, I've seen that screen test of Cillian, and he just his mouth isn't right. He's
quite skinny as well.
He is.
I'm sure he would have bulked out.
Yeah, and Keaton was skinny too, but he got in shape for it, made it more believable, as did Christian Bale.
Yeah,
something's just not right. Something with Cillian just wasn't right. I can't really put my finger on it.
No, he's much better at playing kind of creepier characters.
Now, Liam Neeson's first scene here, I found very on the nose with the dialogue. He's saying something like, "We hate evil, we offer true justice, and we can make you into an idea, a symbol." Dude, this is your first scene with Bruce Wayne. He's already dropping things like hinting that we're a clan that makes people into Batman is what it felt like. So this movie doesn't have much subtlety.
Yeah, I find that about a lot of Christopher Nolan's movies. They are very kind of, the characters very much kind of speak in these kind of big, heavy, kind of dramatic ways that aren't really kind of real. People always say his films are realistic, but his characters don't talk realistic.
Absolutely not.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that thought kept popping up on the other night when I was watching this. And we just saw the first of many scenes of Bruce getting his ass kicked, and then he just gets up like nothing happens. It happens a few times.
Yeah. I mean, that's some great scenery.
Yeah, it is great scenery.
This is
it's opening up the world for Batman. We'd really never seen anything like this in a Batman film. It's mostly very, very set bound until this. So yeah, that was one of, I guess, Nolan's goals with this movie, is to get out into the real world and use sets only when it was absolutely necessary.
I was reading Variety the other day, and it mentioned how, because obviously Chris Nolan's doing the Odyssey now, he was mentioning how actually back in like 2004 they were offering him Troy, the the Brad Pitt movie.
I saw that one, yeah.
And then Wolfgang Peterson was developing a Batman v Superman movie that got cancelled, so he took Troy as like the bigger director. And apparently Batman Begins was like the consolation prize that Christopher Nolan got given, which is kind of nuts. Because obviously after Batman and Robin, a lot of other directors had worked on ideas of doing kind of an early kind of a Batman Year One.
Yeah.
At one point Joel Schumacher had mentioned, I'd love to do Batman Year One. Darren Aronofsky developed one as well, and then obviously kind of this came kind of out of all of that.
There's a scene just like this in The Golden Child.
I was just going to say, this reminds me of the beginning of The Shadow.
Oh, look back there. You see that right behind him? My sweet brother Noopsy.
I haven't seen Golden Child in so long. Ken Watanabe there as don't think we're spoiling it for anyone, but the decoy Ra's al Ghul.
Ra's al Ghul.
I'm going with Ra's. I know Raish is the correct pronunciation, but everyone calls him Ra's.
Ra's al Ghul, voiced by David Warner from Batman the Animated Series.
Are you a fan of the character of Ra's al Ghul?
No.
Because I'm not. No.
I liked it. I liked the episode when he like goes down into this old tomb, finds an artifact, and it like crumples in his hands. But then he sees like this weird. He gets Ra's al Ghul has this really creepy scene where he has a vision of like a lady in a tomb, and like he walks up to her and kisses her, and like the face turns, it like decays right in front of him. That traumatized me when I was a kid.
Yeah.
But nothing about the character is particularly interesting to me. I haven't looked at him, but I guess he was right for this movie. You don't want to start your new Batman with like a Mr. Freeze or the Mad Hatter, or Scarface maybe would have been okay. A guy with a puppet and a machine gun. That might have been...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think obviously they took the whole like immortal Lazarus Pit stuff out. So essentially
that was really interesting. Yeah, Lazarus Pit, like eternal youth, that kind of stuff. That was cool.
Because obviously there's none of that in here, but like by the time we get to like Dark Knight Rises, the Lazarus Pit is now like some sort of like metaphorical kind of pit in the ground that you sort of metaphorically and physically have to pull yourself out to rebirth yourself. But yeah, I was kind of bummed out that they didn't do anything supernatural on this one.
Boy, that kid looks terrified. Not. Nobody really. Fear is something, Scarecrow weaponizes fear in this movie, and nobody seems particularly terrified in any of these scenes. Not even Kid Bruce, when he's like, the performance from this kid, like, I didn't buy it that he would be traumatized for the rest of his life or whatever. I also wish they, dyed his hair black. Have you seen Christian Bale when he was a young boy?
Yeah. Which one's he in? Like Empire of the Sun?
Empire of the Sun, yeah. But I saw this Instagram reel the other day where he was on. He was sort of promoting Empire of the Sun, and it was an interview with Gene Shalit, and Gene was like, "So this is your first film? It's a Steven Spielberg production. How was it?" And I commented that Christian Bale, like, as a kid, acted like he was 40 years old already.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Oh, but he's cute. He was a natural young actor, and it was cool to see him so little. And it's like, oh yeah, like he was Batman all those years later.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, American Psycho is the one that he did. That sort of, I don't know if it really got him this role, but it was the one where kind of everyone saw him as like a kind of grown up. Mm-hmm. And yeah, a lot of people still like compare the idea of like, oh, American Psycho, he's a nutcase, and like Batman, well, he's like a, kind of a nutcase as well. So he's a guy who plays nutcases all the time.
That's that kind of monorail shot. Reminded me a little of Batman Forever. It could have had that voiceover where it's like, and in recent news, Harvey Two-Face is still at large and still extremely dangerous.
Yeah.
So I liked that.
I'm assuming it's a CGI shot or it's like a model shot or something, because obviously I don't think there's any city that has a monorail like that.
It kind of looked like maybe part Chicago, part CGI.
Yeah, because I know they shot pretty much. Well, not. They shot a lot of this over in England on sound stages when it's not an external shot. So, like all the interiors of Ra's al Ghul's temple, that's all sound stages, and this is a sound stage, right? So this is where I'll quickly talk about this. So, they shot a lot of these city shots in a place called Cardington Hangars, which is big aircraft hangars just outside of Bedford. That's where my parents lived. They lived like 10 miles away. There was a casting call, which I answered, and had to go to like this tiny little kind of studio thing. And they took a photo of you and they got all your measurements and stuff. And they were like, we'll call you when we're going to film. I remember they said the movie was called The Intimidation Game, but everyone knew it was Batman Begins. And yeah, I got called to set really, really early on. And it was for, I think, this scene. So I waited around all day. There were about 20 of us. We all waited around all day. We got dressed up at like lunchtime and we came to set. And I think they had just filmed this scene and they were going to get some B-roll or something of just people walking around Gotham. And sadly, we were not called in front of the camera and we were let go at the end of the day. But anyway, there you go. So I remember seeing this set here. This was just part of the part of what was inside the hangars. Really cool.
And young Bruce crying there. Was that your reaction when you found out I'm not going to be in Batman Begins?
It was, yeah. Me and him were side by side. But yeah, I got to stand under the monorail station while I was waiting to go on set. But yeah,
groovy.
Yeah, I'm
glad you talked over that scene because I don't like that scene. It's the kid's performance pathetic, and the cliche of the dad, like he gets some famous last words, for his son.
Yeah,
I didn't need to see that whole thing again. Also, the murder happens extremely quickly. They just step outside that door, and like it's far too well lit for there to be a criminal like holding a gun right there.
I much prefer the Burton and Schumacher versions where it's kind of dreamlike and things are in slow motion and there's spotlights.
Yeah, and that's all it needed to be. It was like 5 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, like it was in Forever.
But yeah, Mr. Gary Oldman there as Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah. As soon as the Waynes are murdered, like, hi, I'm Commissioner Gordon. Like, oh, that's awful convenient. That he meets the kid that turns into Batman later on, like immediately after his parents died. Yeah, the Rutger Hauer. Yeah, that's in my notes. Like, oh, I forgot he was in this.
I remember getting an autograph from Rutger Hauer years ago. Nice guy.
Now, this little girl, is that supposed to be Rachel later on?
Yes. Yeah, I think it is. I think that's who he's meant to be running with. Yeah.
So she's the one that gives him that little arrowhead at the beginning, like the whole Finders Keepers callback later happens. Hi, Michael Caine.
Now, Michael Caine, I know people love him. I'm not a fan of him in this. I don't know. Just Michael Gough was just so great, and kind of Michael Caine's just he's Michael Caine. You know, he's like Sean Connery. He comes to a movie and he plays Michael Caine. You know, he doesn't like inhabit the role. And
I suppose you're right. He doesn't seem terribly endeared by the Alfred Pennyworth character or his backstory. He's kind of doing his own thing. Have you seen Get Carter?
Yes.
You have? Yeah.
Yes. With the shotgun. Yeah.
I haven't seen many of his films, but one of his finest.
Oh yeah, and the early stuff he did, like what's the Harry Palmer one? The Ipcris File. That's really good. He's great in that. His 60s stuff was great.
I recognize your face, like piss holes in the snow. We got like 2 seconds of Bruce on that. He's like standing on these platforms and he's getting hit. That's too bad because I wanted to see more of that. Yeah,
what do you feel about this whole like non-linear kind of editing where we're kind of jumping all over through time and flashbacks, and now we're here and now we're there?
I really don't mind the structure of it, but I'm glad you brought up editing because I don't like the way this movie's edited.
Would you prefer it in terms of like the shot choice, or just like in terms of like the story?
Oh, it has to do with shot choice, the overabundance of shot reverse shots. My friend Joe Black mentions that he dislikes Nolan because he shoots scenes purely for information.
Yes.
And I think he means that like they kind of they feel robotic, I suppose, and sort of lack sort of frenetic tension, or they don't feel kind of internal to the characters, you know.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point. There's certain filmmakers who will like, paint an establishing shot scene and kind of want you to sort of like, take in all the information and like scan it all with your eyes. And I just don't feel like Nolan is that kind of filmmaker. I think that's part of why this movie is a movie which I didn't love when it first came out, and it's grown on me more the more I watch it and the more I watch his stuff. But I think initially it's just like a reaction to, just not being used to the way he makes his films and tells the story and things.
And a line that stuck with me for 20 years: rub your chest, your arms will do themselves. a lot of people believed that was true, but is it bullshit? It's total BS. But it's like maybe it's meant to like signify that Ra's al Ghul is like falsifying information, or it's sort of like showing that he can be deceiving.
Oh, I should say at the moment he's under his alias, isn't he? Henri Ducard.
Ducard, that's right.
Henri Ducard.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, which is a character that Sam Hamm created for a comic strip called Batman Blind Justice. So Sam Hamm, the writer of Batman '89, got like one chance in '89 to write a comic book, and it created this name anyway. He's not really the same character.
It sounded like you said Batman Duck, and I thought of Batman Returns.
Well, at first I was going to go Sam Hamm never wrote a comic book again, but obviously he wrote the recent kind of Batman '89 comic books. I love the way how this is one of those kind of TV movie tropes where kind of like when a character's got to be slightly young and not super old, you've got to like brush their hair kind of like down to make them look younger.
Yeah, that's kind of cold from Alfred to be like, your father is dead. This is yours.
Yeah, it's a much spikier kind of Bruce Wayne Alfred relationship compared to Michael Gough, who was like, a nice guy all the time. And, if he did have like a disagreement, he would, phrase it in a way where it wasn't kind of arguing with Bruce.
I would like to know a bit more about Ra's al Ghul and why he's recruiting Bruce. I suppose, he plucked him out of prison because he knows who he is. So I guess he like sees some kind of potential in Bruce. He like wanted him to join League of Shadows.
Yeah. You'd think it would be more that he'd like want Bruce's millions or billions or whatever he's got. But yeah, he sees, something within him, hopes that he's going to become a bit of a terrorist. Eco-terrorist like himself.
Maybe that's just what he does. It's like, he's really picky. League of Shadows, that's not something you can just post on Craigslist. You got to go out and get people yourself.
It's not.
Choose wisely. Right here, I wrote too much music. Part of the editing problems that sort of arose while watching this was it feels very montage. There's a big reliance on Zimmer to score these scenes, and something this movie really lacks for me is Foley. So, Foley is sound that you add in post to add immersion or information or believability. All that on-set audio has to go. So it's just the actors and ADR, and it has to be replaced with something in post to make the movie more believable. And this movie lacks that. There's so much Hans Zimmer over each scene. And, you could probably listen to the soundtrack to this movie. And one of the first tracks on the album would cover like 3 or 4 scenes. So like one piece of music covers just like a bunch of scenes in this movie. And I'd prefer it if it were broken up more.
Yeah.
That's not fair to... I kind of feel bad for Zimmer. He kind of has to carry the emotional weight of the movie because there's so little sound. It's mostly his music and the dialogue.
Yeah, that's maybe down to, you got to remember this is Chris Nolan's like 4th major movie. So he did Following, which was like a £8,000 kind of 60-minute film. Then he did Memento. Then he did, what was the one? Insomnia. And then he did this. So like he's still pretty green when he's directing this. I'm surprised they gave it to someone so new and fresh. But I guess kind of Insomnia, did Pacino and was it Robin Williams? Richard Brake there as Joe Chill.
That's who that is. I thought it was
horror
Guy Pearce for a minute, but no, that's Memento, not this.
Richard Brake's.
Thank you.
What was he in recently? Oh, Barbarian.
I was wondering who that was. Very familiar. Burton was very What Burton did Batman, that was one of his first movies. Schumacher, not at all. You know, Schumacher had been a filmmaker for 20 or so years at the time, you know.
Yeah. But, yeah, he was a safe pair of hands.
That's amazing. I didn't know Nolan, like, this feels like his 10th movie, not like his 4th or 5th.
Yeah, you got to be pretty confident to do this. And that was another thing I thought, like, so he is still being asked to do a lot of this on, like I say, of the Cardington hangars. They had the monorail section. They had the alleyways. They had a lot of the narrows were built in there. You know, the kind of tenements at the end. I'm sure Warner Brothers were like, "You ain't shooting this on too many real locations. We want some soundstage stuff because that's how we've always done Batman movies, and so that's how you're going to do it."
The Dark Knight feels way more like downtown than this one. I like some of the sets in this one. And as we're, the scene we're watching now, it's
this will be London somewhere, I think.
Yeah, and it's kind of...
And now we're on the soundstage.
We're on the soundstage, yeah. And, Rachel, she, turned the car off of that real street location and down this ramp. All of a sudden, we're in this set. That was a little goofy to me.
So what's your opinion on Katie Holmes?
I have no opinion on Katie Holmes. She's fine. What I wrote down here, 27 minutes in, this dialogue is just god awful.
Oh yeah.
The way I think I don't remember what she said, but I just wrote, people don't talk this way. She's speaking almost entirely in exposition. This bit made me laugh too in the theater. Slap, long pause, another slap.
You can just hear Chris Nolan go, "Slap him again." Yeah, Katie Holmes. Yeah.
Is that all you're going to say?
I just, for those who are too young, like, she was in Dawson's Creek before this, and I'm trying to remember any movie she was in before Batman Begins. But she was clearly, again, like a studio note of like, you got to put Katie Holmes in it to get like the young audience to come and see this movie. Now, this is another issue of mine, Tom Wilkinson. Who's a very a notable British actor here, putting on a pretty terrible American accent.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Like, it just, maybe it's just me. Like, I've seen him in so many. Was he in the Full Monty? I think he was. But yeah,
I haven't seen that in 25 years.
Yeah. And like, so I don't know how much comic books you've read, but like, this character Falcone is from the Batman Year One comic book, and kind of there he's sort of like a kind of like insert for like the Marlon Brando Godfather character, and it's kind of like fun, like, oh, what if Batman went up against the Godfather? Wouldn't that be cool? But kind of like, when you take that character and you transplant him back into film, well, now he's just like a copy of a copy. He's now. I was going to do an Italian American accent there, and I stopped myself. We need to subject people to that.
I was going along with this scene just fine until he said, "You always fear what you don't understand." Like, oh, foreshadowing. This movie has no subtlety whatsoever.
No. Remind me, the writer's David Goyer, right?
I don't know. I know he worked on Rises, because Rises has some awful plot and dialogue. It wouldn't surprise me if Goyer was on this as well.
He did this, but I'm sure Chris Nolan, probably had a hand in a little bit of the writing as well.
And I think because Goyer, worked on the Dark Knight trilogy, I think that's partly what landed him the job on Man of Steel.
Oh, undoubtedly, yeah. they clearly wanted Chris Nolan to do this again for Superman, and he said no. Now that actor, I can't remember his name, but he's the bad guy in The Saint with Val Kilmer. Thank you. Nice goat.
Hey, buddy, did you just see real white light? Hey, son of a bitch, took my pants!
It's so weird that he's there for like what's literally like 2 lines, and yet he was like a few years before this, he was like a huge, major. He was the main villain in The Saint. But anyway, that's just how things go sometimes. So yeah, so this is them. Yeah, so now we're going back in time, forward in time. This is him running away from Gotham and going on his travels.
Yeah, Man of Steel does this too.
Yes, it does. Pretty much exactly the same way. Yeah, and it's not particularly great there either.
Well, I had signed on to do The Saint, but Schumacher called me to do another Batman, but I was in the middle of another film, so yeah, I passed on that. I wasn't upset that Val wasn't doing the movie. I was upset that we were told at the last minute that Val wasn't doing the movie. Okay. That's enough of that.
How have you memorized all these lines? I think part of one of the reasons that I'm not big on this movie either is that it demystifies Batman. It demystifies his training and why he did it and kind of all the stuff which Burton in particular was just like not interested in. Burton, particularly in that first Batman movie, I think thrived on the idea of like Batman being this unknown, this mystery, and kind of Nolan is not interested in the mystery at all. He is interested in telling you exactly why everyone does everything, exactly how he does everything. Which is fine. And I've learned to love that over time. But yeah, initially that was a bit of a shock.
Mortal Kombat!
This is very Mortal Kombat.
Let me ask you this. You know in RoboCop, how we get the full backstory on Murphy, how he dies, why they make him into this, cyborg. Do you think that demystifies the RoboCop character?
Well, RoboCop's a different kettle of fish because it's about a man who loses his body learning to live with being something else. So I don't know that you can do a RoboCop movie without seeing him as Alex Murphy. Whereas Batman, I feel like you can do a lot of cool Batman stories where you don't go into any of his origins or how he did anything, because like Batman needs a bit of like mystery and mystique to him in a way that I don't know RoboCop does.
Funny how that works,
like the RoboCop remake I think was very much influenced by this Batman Begins movie. It went in a lot more was dealt on kind of Murphy before he died, and obviously making him much more human instead of like much more robotic. Bats, I'm scared of bats.
Yeah. Or it says so in the script. I'm not going to show much fear, though.
It's because he's learning to accept his fear and overcome it. True.
I get that he doesn't have time to show a lot of fear because he's in the middle of this dangerous test. So that's I'll give that a pass. What I don't understand is how they get those bats in that little box there.
No, that's true.
And the use of real swords here, like, how do these guys know what formation to take? Why do they use real swords? You're going to kill someone. It's supposed to be a test. And why did he single out that one guy? You know, why did Raish think that was Bruce right there? I think the scene is great. It's just too, Raish is doing exactly what he's been doing the whole movie. Just like inspirational quotes,
Yeah. I don't know how unbelievable I find Liam Neeson with a sword as well. I can believe him with a gun, absolutely, but with a sword, I don't know. There's just something a bit, I don't know, clunky.
Maybe they should have given him a scar across his cheek or something.
To make him look a bit badass.
I don't know, just to make him a bit more warrior-like.
Yeah.
They could have given him those Qui-Gon Jinn hair extensions.
In fairness, I have the same issue with episode 1. I don't buy him as a great Jedi Master either. I wish they'd gone with someone else. I do like Liam Neeson. I will say that. Like, I love Darkman. He's great in that. And a bunch of other movies. But just, yeah, there's certain ones where I'm just like, you're not the right actor for this role.
This is one of my favorite scenes.
Yes, this is good.
It's, he makes a choice here, Bruce. And it's kind of the first time that he does his own thing, and he's ready to break off, and it tells us something about his character because he won't kill the guy.
Yes. Yeah, this movie is big on the no-kill rule.
For sure. This movie's very big on dialogue, but the dialogue is very necessary here. Your enemies will not share the compassion you have for life. And my favorite line in the film, he says, no, I won't kill him. It separates us from them. That gave me chills the other day, hearing that. I looked in the mirror and I said it to myself, like, yeah, it separates us from them. And it got me thinking, like, what separates me from awful people, So it's badass. It's inspirational.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's good. It's good. Do it. Don't do it.
No, don't kill Chow Yun Fat. Well, that was convenient. What are all these flammables doing in this place on the upper balcony? They need a no smoking sign in here for sure.
As a lot of people pointed out, by not killing that one man, he is now probably blown up quite a few League of Shadows.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, no, look at this. This is like the RoboCop gas station explosion. Like, that was massive. This movie isn't realistic. It's gritty, but it's not realistic.
No, yeah. People always say Chris Nolan stuff is realistic, but it's realistic in some aspects and not in others.
This movie lacks the choreographers that, I wish they had gotten Yuen Wo Ping. That was the fight choreographer for much of the Matrix trilogy.
Yeah.
And, that took months of training on the actors and, the choreographers, wire work. That kind of choreography is very rare, but it raised the bar in terms of, how American films were done. For that cut scene. No, sorry. There are too many cuts in that fight scene we just had.
Yes.
So not great, but acceptable. It's better in the sequel. In The Dark Knight, better editing, but it was fine for the time.
Yeah. This scene, these scenes I'm not too fussed with. When the Batman stuff shows up later in the movie, and it's just like tiny cuts. Yeah, I don't love that.
So this is where you hang out.
It is. We should just put another movie over the top of this.
I'm glad they at least showed him pulling him up.
That's the last we're ever going to see of him.
Yeah. It would have been fine, actually, if he had gone over the edge and they believed dead.
Would have saved a lot of movie, yeah. I wonder if anyone's ever done a fan edit of this, putting it back in order. I'm sure someone has. I just wonder how it would play out. Whether it would feel any different.
That would be like an auditory nightmare. It's just like, recut these scenes, because Zimmer's music is, over every scene in this movie pretty much. So like reordering these scenes you'd have to do some really clever editing with the sound. Otherwise it would just sound choppy and jarring, oh, there's a cut. Oh, that was re-edited, that doesn't flow right. So
yeah. What's your feelings on Hans Zimmer as a composer?
My mom sent me a text the other day. It was like a Hans Zimmer in concert kind of thing. It's like, I think there's like a right now around the States, there's sort of like a touring orchestra, not with Zimmer, but they're all only playing Zimmer stuff. And I texted her back and I'm like, thanks, Mom, but not a fan of Zimmer.
No.
Furthermore, we've heard Batman's theme several times already, but Batman hasn't even appeared in the movie itself, which I found kind of odd. You'd think they would save that cue, that kind of right now, until he's Batman, but no, we get it. So
it's because this Batman is Bruce Wayne. They're the same.
Split right down the center. Okay, this shot here. See this, whatever it is, matte painting, helicopter shot. That's literally the cut that signifies the end of Act 1 and the beginning of Act 2. And we also get Dr. Crane in the next shot as well. Yep. So I like that a very clear indicator that the setup is out of the way and we can kind of get into the rest of the plot,
Yeah.
So, like in any of the previous Batman movies, this would be an acceptable starting point for the film, because
oh yeah,
all the other ones they don't have that all that setup. It just goes right into it.
Yeah, if you've got if Joel Schumacher was doing this, we'd be like, right, we've got to do the Scarecrow's genesis, and Ra's al Ghul has just come to Gotham City and is demanding, whatever.
And in other news,
we can just have some news montage that explains everything. Yeah.
I had trouble following who that character was that Rachel was talking to. Like, is it her boyfriend, or does he work as a DA like she does, or what?
Yeah, I think he's like, is he the DA? I don't know if he's the DA, because I don't think like Harvey Dent is the DA. I think she is assistant DA, and that guy is the DA probably, but maybe not.
What's a DA? I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
A district attorney.
Oh, okay. Like Two Faces.
I don't know how American law works, but the district attorney is like chief lawyer, is going to sue for city stuff. I don't know.
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way, you British bloke.
Sorry?
Happy Thanksgiving, by the way.
Oh, right. Yeah. I completely forgot.
You don't celebrate.
We don't celebrate that stuff over here. We don't even register it. And finally, we get to the Batcave.
This definitely a cool scene.
This is cool, and I'm sure this is probably a real location. I could be wrong. You'd be amazed what kind of shit they build for
That's
movies.
true. You know, another movie.
No, this looks real.
Another movie that came out the same year, The Descent.
Oh yeah, that was fake.
Yeah,
right.
Almost. Well, some of it was fake. They used a few real caves, but it's totally seamless.
Well, some of it was fake. Obviously, all the bits. They should have doubled up and done both movies on one set.
You see on both Bruce Wayne and Batman.
I was gonna say, like, this is what's meant to be in Batman Forever, right? When he comes out of the cave and all the bats kind of follow after him.
Maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, I'm sorry. You're mentioning that deleted scene where...
Yeah.
That's honestly very few people have seen because it's only in the Schumacher cut. He comes out of that cave. We've all seen the scene where he's like, I'm Batman, Alfred. I'm Batman. But there's the next shot I've described. A further shot, which I saw in the work print, where the bats come out behind him and swarm the whole Batcave. You're right. That's very similar to what we get here.
Is it like that?
It is very much like that. They don't swarm him. He doesn't stop there and close his eyes like he does in this. But, bats fill the frame, and Bruce and Alfred walk past the destroyed Batmobile, and yeah, no, it's incredible. I wrote in my notes that scene we just had where we first get the Batman theme and all the bats surround him. Incredible. It gave me chills the other day.
Yeah.
And that should have been the first time we got his theme.
See, he looks just like Patrick Bateman now. In the suit and stuff.
So that was my sound effect for her neck as she looks up at him. Yeah, no, she's not good. She has like 5 seconds of screen time, but this lady ain't got shit on Margaret, is my point.
No, I was going to say, is this Margaret? Margaret Begins.
Sorry, when she looks up at him, that was like I audibly groaned, or I said, what? Because I just couldn't believe how bad her acting is.
Yeah.
People don't look at each other that way, is what I'm saying. And that's why it's small parts like hers that make this movie feel just robotic, I suppose. I do like that scene where he's teaching her how to play golf. You can kind of fill in the gaps yourself. It's like, oh yeah, he charmed her out of that chair and now he's teaching her how to hit the ball. Yeah, that's cute.
It reminds me a lot of, and it's maybe a nod to like Sean Connery as James Bond. I can't remember which one. There's one of the Bond films where he's kind of teaching a woman to putt, I'm sure. I can't quite think of it now, but it's yeah. There's a lot of kind of James Bondy kind of elements in this. Obviously, apropos, here is Q. Lucius Fox, who's going to give Batman all his gadgets and vehicles and etc.
Teach Jim Carrey how to play God. So, the scene with Rutger Hauer we just had. Basically, if I'm following this correctly, Bruce wants to work for his father's company after he was believed dead for years or so. He mentions applied sciences. So I guess he plans to use the company to make weaponry. And I suppose he wants to use it to kick ass, I suppose. Because he of course, he blames Falcone for the state of Gotham and all that.
Yeah.
As we saw in the scene in the car, they went down to that sort of criminal underworlds. Applied sciences, kind of vague, but basically it's just like he's asking for permission to like dig up this old stuff. It is kind of funny that, does Morgan Freeman live down here or what?
Seemingly. Yeah. I don't quite. Yeah. So I guess the idea is they did some military stuff, weaponry stuff, but aren't doing it now, and that's why it's all kind of like mothballed downstairs. Because obviously he takes like all this equipment and no one at any point goes, that's the Wayne Enterprises suit that we all designed, and that's the tank that we designed, and that's etc.
Awesome scene here as he's like spelunking, and that shot of the ceiling, cool. Like there's a shot like that in the first Batman when he like brings Vicky into the Batcave. I just wish they lit this a little darker.
Yeah.
And now, this scene and the one we just had, that's 2 scenes in a row where he just finds something that's, was already there.
Mm.
If this movie was more realistic, this would take him years to find or put together. But like, you have to suspend your disbelief a little that, yeah, it was all here. He just sort of had to find it. It's awful convenient. His parents' company had all that junk. It's really not junk, though. It's this incredible technology that the world has never seen, and they just kind of went, I'll just put that away, And one day when Bruce Wayne comes back, it's all his.
Yeah, now we get all the origin. So we got the suits. This is how he's going to design I do quite like this little detail about like the helmets, and he's like going to order like 1,000 of them or something, so that it's like less suspicious.
It's like 10,000. Oh, this is nice. I wish George Clooney and Chris O'Donnell got scenes like this where they're just like, we need this. How do we get it? Let's order it. They're like shopping basically.
Yeah. So this is Flass. Again, this is heavily taken from the Batman Year One comic book. So the Batman Year One is sort of like about 50% of it is you're just following Jim Gordon, kind of moving to Gotham and getting a job and realizing all the policemen are corrupt. And Flass is quite a major character there. And yeah, it's a shame they didn't borrow more, because there's some cool stuff like where Flass beats him up with a baseball bat, and like later on Gordon does the exact same thing to him, but like worse.
Peanut butter jelly with a baseball bat.
Now, I will say I do like that we've got now the classic kind of Batman coming into Commissioner Gordon's office without him noticing, turning the lights off.
Or in this case, leaving every light on.
Yeah. And of course, he's just wearing the ski mask at the moment, which is, again, is taken from Year One, but is also in Mask of Phantasm when he goes out for that first night.
You mentioned the ski mask, and I was like, oh yeah, Mask of the Phantasm. Or Ski Mask of the Phantasm.
Yeah, I mean, that's not to put too many knocks on this movie, but again, like, I love Mask of Phantasm, and this borrows some stuff from that, but I don't feel does it as well, because it's not, a cartoon. It's got to be done realistically and stuff. Freeze.
Mask of the Phantasm. It's just one of those movies like everyone's seen, but like not everybody talks about it. I'll bet there were like 0 discussions on the set of that. That cartoon movie from the early 90s starring Batman.
Yeah. Thinking about that has a non-linear plot as well, right?
Yeah, but nobody would admit that we would, as they're developing this movie, I don't think anyone would mention Mask of the Phantasm. That's the second of many injuries that Bruce Wayne just kind of shrugs off, Just like, oh yeah, I'll jump off this building, land on this fire escape. I'll just like catch it under my arms. And yeah, that's definitely like 4 ruptured vertebrae if we're being realistic.
Yeah.
Wing technology. Now this is the cool stuff,
Yeah, this is kind of cool. And I think they they built this massive kind of like wing thing. Like, I think it basically like worked. I don't think it would hold anyone's weight, but it would like spring out.
Is there is there a good look at that on like a featurette or something?
I'm sure there is. Yeah. There's this. I just remember seeing like a guy descending loads and loads in just wearing like a t-shirt and shorts, but with the massive wings.
Another giant convenience for Bruce Wayne. So this is just down there in the garage for him to use. No one's ever seen it before. Yep. It's like this unstoppable machine that the cops can't catch. Oh, it's down there. Oh, sure, you can have it.
I remember in the comic books, or at one point in the 90s in the comic books, the explanation for how Bruce Wayne got all his technology was he had like a deaf, mute guy called Harold who just worked in the Batcave building stuff for him and like never left. And like that was the explanation for how he had everything. Does it come in black? That's as one-liners go, does it come in black was pretty good. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I'm good with it. It's I like the little pinches of salt. This it adds to the tone.
The vibe I'm getting from this as well, I completely forgot he wore like baseball cap and hoodie and stuff, is the Matt Reeves Batman movie, which came out a couple of years ago. Robert Pattinson's, got that kind of like drifter kind of outfit that he wears, doesn't he, with the hoodie, baseball cap, and scarf. Yeah.
Henry Cavill gets it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Man of Steel. I would have liked to seen of him like 3D printing that belt or the mask or something, rather than just like, this showed up in the mail. But he does have, he's carving the little Batarang thing, so that's a good touch.
Yeah, he's doing some stuff. You can get that stuff on eBay now easily.
Oh yeah. Yeah, bats frighten you, Bruce. By that you mean you duck and cover occasionally. Just really quick, I really dig Christian Bale's hair in general, but also it's like just the right length in this movie. So
yes,
Clooney's hair was
too short.
Very Clooney, it wasn't Bruce Wayne. I wish they'd given him like a piece or something. Val Kilmer has extraordinary hair. Keaton, it's just enough, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Affleck, they gave him like a little wig thing on the front of his head to give him like the kind of widow's kind of peak. I remember.
Widow's kind of peak. Oh, sorry, man. I love all your unboxing videos where you're just like, okay, so this was kind of a mid-90s kind of Kenner, and the arms can kind of do this. It's just... I'm a big fan.
Unboxing fan.
Yeah. A very
Where are the lights hanging
where
from?
these lights?
Sorry, I'm just thinking.
That's a great point.
Like, I thought for a second we were outside, but actually, if there's lights hanging down in between the things, then I guess we're inside. I always thought this was outside, but I guess it's inside.
I was going to say this location is very convenient for Batman. It's like Falcone's. He's doing the drugs.
Yeah,
and like there's a lot of hiding places for. Oh, yeah, we are outside. There was just a crane there. Did you see that?
Yeah, that's what. Right. So, where are the lights hanging from?
I guess there could be. I guess there could be wiring up there.
Kind of. Yeah, the batarang hits the light bulb and makes it go out. But
yeah, just like Raphael's sigh.
Yes, this is very Ninja Turtles, 1990. Where are you?
I love this guy's hair. There's a character that looks just like that in The Mask. He's just like, he has that fight with the dog at the end.
Yes.
He's also carrying like a very similar machine gun, long coat. This guy has a great classic henchman look.
Long, greasy hair. Inverted takedown. I think we've all played Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight.
I never played it.
Really? That kind of like hanging upside down is like a key move that you can do. You can hang off like a gargoyle, and then as people come beneath you, you press Y and like you drop down, grab them, pick them up, and attach them to the rope, and then leave them swinging.
That's adorable. Tobey Maguire did that first. One of my favorite laugh out loud moments here. I'm Batman. Yeah. It's just like timed to the second, to the frame, just like, and how would he hear Falcone say that? It's like, oh, punch through the roof. And pretty sure I heard you say, what the hell are you?
Yeah.
Don't even get me started on the bum being present for that whole thing.
Yeah. Same bum. Looking exactly the same.
Yeah. I'd be suspicious of that bum. He was present for
that bum...
because that bum was present for 2 of the interactions that Batman had with Falcone. Isn't that convenient?
Right, so this was the monorail station.
I'm sorry, the slap.
Oh, right, in the back.
He hits him in the face. It sounded like a fucking pillow fight.
Yeah, so this is monorail section. So this is where I was sat under waiting to go on set. Remember this distinctly.
So you were like underneath this structure, looking up. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. And they just kind of like had us. So like the whole thing was basically like a seamless set. Like there wasn't like an off area. Everything was made to be filmed from whatever angle. And I remember the girders that held up the actual kind of roof of the hangar were kind of like used in parts of the set design and stuff.
Were you there to be an extra, or you were just like snuck on or whatever?
No. It was there to be an extra. Yeah, I got paid £80, I think. Which I got a check made out from the Intimidation Game Limited or whatever. That was the working title of the movie. Which I wish I didn't cash now, because now I've got no proof that I was there. But hey,
the Falcone signal.
I should say as well, that whole thing of like strapping someone to a signal to make the bat signal, that was like an unused idea from, I think, Batman Returns Returns, or maybe it was Batman. I remember like Alexander Knox was meant to be like strapped to a big signal to make the bat signal. It's funny how kind of like ideas don't get used in movies, but then just I don't know if they just write them down in like a big book and someone goes through and pinches one or two, or whether it's just coincidence.
That was a wonderful shot of Batman standing on the building. The swooping helicopter shot is very appropriate. It would be better though if Nolan didn't always use like a swooping helicopter shot for every establishing shot. And so that bit with Batman would be more impactful if he didn't, use it for every exterior.
Yeah. Like the bruises and stuff. That's kind of cool. That looks disgusting. That's a pretty good joke as well. Him just going straight into the press ups.
Yeah, it looks like he falls on his face, but now here we get this introduction to this weapon that's like this cargo ship thing. This is something that's like straight out of a Michael Bay film. Like this is where the Decepticons find this crate, and it has this item that's like it's totally legendary, and
I mean, yeah, Nolan I think is very influeed by Michael Mann. Particularly on Dark Knight, but there's a little bit here as well.
I said Michael Bay, you said Michael Mann, right?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Yeah, I'm getting my Michaels mixed up. I was going to think, Michael Mann's Transformers. Yeah, that would be something to see.
It wouldn't have been the monster hit that Michael Bay's movie was. Is that a Lamborghini? Trying to look at the maybe a Porsche, Aston Martin. I don't know. I was trying to look at the wheel there, see if
to make it what the make was.
See if that would be a giveaway. Yeah. Regardless, cute. This is just any other actor who didn't get to play Batman would be absolutely envious of Bale here, because he gets this opportunity to be a playboy and Batman all in the same movie. And, we got some of that in, there's bits of it in the 4 movies before this. But nothing like this comes to mind where he really gets to be a spoiled brat,
He's pretending to be not just a billionaire, but like an arsehole.
Yeah.
An arsehole here.
Really gets to be
all the other
an
ones
ass.
are very much like, just attending charity balls and galas and things. Whereas here he's like, no, I'm going to actually make out that I'm a douche as well. So that people don't suspect I'm Batman.
Yeah. And that's true. It is all just a front, a mask over a mask.
We all wear masks.
Oh, that's true.
We don't have cameras on. I'm wearing my Batman mask now. I assumed we were doing that for all the podcast episodes, right?
Right, sure. Kevin Conroy got to say, I think it's Mask of the Phantasm, where he's like, here's your towel back, where you can stick it.
Yes.
But This is just taking it to another level of douchiness.
Yeah, this isn't quite, the Kevin Conroy version where, he was never like an arsehole, but he would be like, a bit buffoonery at times in public.
This is like maybe our 11th scene of two people talking in reverse shot.
Oh God, yeah, I know. Kill me now.
Nolan cuts all his scenes like that. This is kind of different though. Them just walking side by side, you know.
Yeah,
that's good. Do more of that, Chris. Finally, a good scene with Killian. I've seen that screen test, and you know, his lips like seem more appropriate for like a RoboCop or Judge Dredd, but not Batman.
Yeah,
you need to have a good. He doesn't have the chin, or the voice. I think you don't absolutely.
I can't think of too many movies where he's done an American accent. Really, I think he's normally neutral or his Irish accent.
You don't absolutely have to have like a good voice for Batman, in my opinion. But it is something that, you know, people definitely pay attention to. It's like, how does this guy sound as Batman? You know, I of course have a great Batman voice, but that's just me. No one will cast me. But yeah, Killian, what I love about Killian is his eyes. He has some of the best eyes I've ever seen. Oh, this drug works really fast. I don't think he even had a chance to inhale it there.
No. Yeah. So the Scarecrow, I like Scarecrow as a villain. I think Scarecrow's a great villain, but I do feel like Nolan doesn't lean enough into the creepy, you're you know, in your nightmare kind of scenario. You just get these kind of flashes and everything's wobbling a bit, and oh, that person's eyes are glowing. There's so much more you can do with the Scarecrow. Like I think Joel or Tim Burton would have done a fantastic job with Scarecrow, but yeah.
Honey, when did you buy this Christmas decoration? That's what Bats kind of looks like up there.
Am I right in this is the first time Gordon's actually seen Batman's face? And he's just like, yeah, nothing weird about that guy.
Is it? Oh, God.
Like, I don't think they've been I think this is the first time they're face to face.
Yeah, right. We had this scene in his office where he's like behind him wearing a ski mask. But yeah, I think you're right. That's the first time. And, you know, the impression Batman has on people who encounter him are very, very mixed. When he saves Rachel from the mugging, that guy absolutely just turned and ran when he saw him. But, you know, like Gordon isn't even fazed by him. Don't even get me started on the kid later.
Oh, yeah.
There's a line that everyone hates.
So what do we think about the Batman voice?
It's hard. It's hard to take it seriously.
Yeah.
Sometimes in this movie, he uses a more appropriate, just deeper version of his voice where he's not screaming and rasping. In the sequels, he leans, unfortunately, he leans more into the heavy rasping, which is just awful. But this one, I kind of like it. This scene is a bad example because he's screaming. But, you know, there's scenes later where he's got the tone just right. It doesn't have to be something intense or intimidating. It really doesn't. It needs to be, because it's a movie. It needs to be audible. It needs to be not the same as Bruce Wayne's voice. Like Clooney didn't even, adjust it for Batman.
That freeze.
That's not awfully PC. No, but I like Kilmer. Bats aren't rodents, Dr. Beretta.
Yeah,
You just gotta, bring it down an octave and you're good. So Bale, he just tried too hard.
It is something different. I hated it at the time, but I don't mind it now.
Well, you've had time to kind of mellow with the...
Yeah, I've mellowed over 20 years, yeah. Sorry, I was going to talk about Blade Runner. This is very Blade Runner-y. I remember probably somewhere in the promotional material, Chris Nolan was like, I screened Blade Runner for these scenes.
And, Batman and pouring down rain, we'd never seen that on film before. So this is totally something new.
No, we had snow. We had bright neon lights, but we'd never had rain.
Yeah. He'd been underwater a couple times, but...
Yes, that's true.
So yeah, that kid...
What's that kid's...
That kid just sees him as a big action figure, but like criminals are also like turn and run when they see him. I don't buy it, You need to pick one.
Yeah.
So Batman's trying to get the rest of the drugs because, like, when he arrested Falcone, it was only half of the supplies. So he's it's not just, he can't just take it out in one fell swoop. Oh, what was that?
See, some of these quick cuts work, but like you got to remember, like this was around about the time of all the Bourne films.
Truth.
When kind of everything was kind of, let's just shoot really quick shots and cut them way too fast to make it look like people are super agile.
The Hi, I'm Johnny Knoxville, and this is the building jump. Or whatever. I was gonna say I mean, you're aware of how much I love the Monarch bat prop from Batman Forever, and well, it actually, I think they could have used it for a couple of these drug scenes.
Yeah, it needed like it just needs some weirdness. All of Chris Nolan's, like Inception is for a movie about dreams, it's incredibly straight and normal. Dreams are weird, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Nightmares should be weird as well. But yeah, hey. Alfred, come get me.
I don't mind seeing Batman vulnerable once in a while.
No, I don't mind that either. In fact,
he's showing some real grief here. I just wish what he saw was just more terrifying.
Yeah.
In this case, like, that Monarch bat is, especially the close-ups of its eyes are just a lot scarier than anything we see in this film, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, yeah, I completely agree about making Batman vulnerable. There's way too much in the last 20 years. All the comics, Batman is so like impervious to any kind of like injury or anything that he's become kind of like a bit dull. And yeah, I absolutely think if you've got a person who is basically just a very strong human being, then yeah, he should be vulnerable.
Do you remember Dragon, the Bruce Lee story?
Yes.
He like gets his back broken or something like in the middle of the film, and like the next half hour, like he's in the hospital, which they sort of do that in The Dark Knight Rises. He's out of commission for a long time, and I kind of like that. that whole subplot.
Yeah, I agree.
Why do we fall, Bruce?
I will say, by the time it got to Dark Knight Rises, and it was like, right, he's literally got to get himself out of an even bigger hole. I was like, okay, Chris, I'm sold on the hole and falling and rising stuff. Yeah, fine, you've won me over.
You said I'm sold on the hole, and I was like, hole, like, or WHOLE, the whole hole. Are you sold on the whole hole?
The whole hole,
or none of the hole?
Yeah, I'm pretty sold on the whole hole. While we've got Katie Holmes up, have you seen that Nickelback TV spot for Batman Begins? I think it was like for when it was broadcast on like some TV channel.
That's hilarious. I'd love to watch that on like a future podcast and like make fun of it.
Yes. Yeah. That was, there was definitely a desire to make this, sell this as a romantic drama in some respects.
That is definitely not her handwriting.
No. Didn't believe it for a second. But yeah, I do wonder, like, would Maggie Gyllenhaal have just, I don't know. It would have been nice. I hate it when they recast a role.
Really? I don't mind that at all. Because, acting and show business, it's photo play. It's like when I was in theater. And, Broadway musicals do this too. They have different actors play the same parts, and I'm totally fine with that. And, when it comes to like deep fake and stuff like that, please just cast a new actor,
Yes. Yeah.
Great music here as he's, rushing down to the Batcave. And that's partly to do because we didn't have music for a while there. So when it does come back, I'm pumped,
Yeah, makes an impact, yeah.
That hallucinogenic drug that Scarecrow has, he uses that in the animated series, I think. Like, he makes one guy think his hands are just bones. He makes a guy...
That's the kind of freaky shit. Yeah, exactly.
He makes a guy think that he's got spiders crawling on his skin. And also, Spellbinder from Batman Beyond did that. I noticed.
Yeah. I feel like if they did Ra's al Ghul in the 80s, Rutger Hauer could have made a pretty cool Ra's al Ghul. It's kind of a shame his career sort of just, tailed off a little bit towards the end.
Rutger Hauer just fired Lucius Fox because...
Because reasons. Well, I rewound that scene several times, and like he says that Rutger Hauer was like, I guess he's sort of like, he's on to what's going on. Or he's on to the fact that Bruce Wayne's doing stuff.
Yeah, like he suddenly has a keen interest in the vault and all the stuff down there. So I don't know why he does it, but it's, I guess, sort of like, the plot thickens a bit.
Yeah, you need to. Yeah. Stuff happens.
Now, do you know where we are right now? This location?
This location? No, I don't, actually.
It's Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Where's all the lightning, Drew? Where's the big gate and the sign?
Welcome home, Frostface.
Swinging lantern. Oh, man. Yeah,
Harvey,
this is where...
Counselor?
Like, I'm not saying everyone has to do Arkham Asylum as a weird place. Like, in the comic books, up until probably like the 80s, Arkham Asylum did just look like a regular building. But just like, there's so much fun you can have with that location.
It's it lacks character because of the new direction.
Yeah.
And I commend Nolan for deciding to make it a little more real, because we'd never seen that before. And this is completely different to what we had seen. So I like that. And a failure is not such a bad thing, in my opinion. Lots of sequels fail. One of my favorite sequels, Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, was a failure on many fronts. But I just commend them for going in such the opposite direction of what the first one did. And so, with this one, it's so real world that you couldn't do the Arkham Asylum from Batman Forever without it feeling out of place. So I commend the new direction, but you've definitely lost something. You've lost character. You've lost the opportunity to do something to just show these kind of wild visuals. Even as they go down the elevator to this kind of where they're doing these the drugs and like pouring it into the water, it doesn't look too different from the what we saw up there in the asylum, but it improves slightly. But you see this lighting, like this was really popular at the time. There's that scene in Terminator 3, like outside the vet office, or like the TX and the T-800 first meet. It looks just a lot like this. So I just wish...
I was just going to say to you, do you like the color brown?
Well,
this
brown...
whole movie is just brown now for the rest of the running time, however long we got left, like an hour left. It's just brown all the way down.
Mm-hmm. With everybody with like super greasy skin, stuff like that.
Yep. Brown and yellow. But yeah, it's a different way of doing it. This reminds me a lot of did you ever play the Batman Begins video game?
Negative.
Not that I have a whole lot to report. I just do remember playing that. And I remember playing, there was like levels, a lot of levels playing around Arkham Asylum. And again, the whole game was brown.
Why doesn't idiot Dr. Crane hold his breath? Like, he knows what this stuff does, and he still like doesn't shut his eyes or anything.
I do love that McFarlane have done a figure of that demon face Batman, even though it's on screen for like 10 seconds.
I think it's a cool effect. I like the face.
It's
like show something terrifying, and that's kind of, I like the direction they went with that. Just like jet black, ooze coming out of the mouth.
It's a Batman movie. It's got to have ooze coming out the mouth.
Whoa, boobs there.
Sorry, what was that?
Great shot of Katie Holmes's boobs.
Excellent. And now we get into the whole like police versus Batman. Again, this is taken I wouldn't say verbatim, but there's a sequence like this in Batman Year One, and there's a sequence obviously in Mask of Phantasm where Batman's getting chased by the police.
This scene always gets me pumped up. It's a great...
Batman going up against police is pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, that will never not be cool.
And having to just sort of like the in T2, he's got to like disable them rather than obviously can't kill anyone. But,
in T2, like he just shoots them all in the legs.
Yeah.
It's pretty epic music too. I don't know how much of this is Zimmer and how much is James Newton Howard, but I really like it. It makes my hair stand up.
Beep. Yeah, the whole thing with the bats coming from his boot, the little button on his boot. That's Year One.
I like his voice here too. It's just right. You know, he's not.
Yeah,
he's not rasping, which is it's good. He doesn't have this voice in either of the sequels.
No, I don't think so.
You know, granted, it's been a long time since I've seen either of the sequels, and it's also this was my first viewing of this in about 8 years.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when I last watched it. Probably about 5 or so years ago. I did the trilogy. I don't go back to these ones that much, just because they are sort of like they're all quite long, and they're all sort of like they're part of a piece. Like if I watch one, I want to watch all three. I wouldn't just throw on Dark Knight or whatever.
How does he get these bats to do this? I'm sorry.
Sorry, how does he get the bats to do this? It's like some kind of like sonar kind of signal that kind of freaks them out and draws them, I guess.
So you expect me to believe that like he would get this many bats, you know, into downtown and like get them to wait?
Gotham's full of bats.
You know, something I failed to mention on our last commentary is that Batman and Robin didn't have a single bat in the movie, which is essential.
No, yeah, it didn't.
That's too
crazy.
bad.
That is too bad.
But I said this movie more than makes up for that. So it's cool. It's a great visual there. I like that shot of him running.
Yeah,
bats all around him
and freaking out all the.
And that's very comic book too. Yeah, he's just like bombing the shit out of this place. Those guys don't even flinch. All right. It's funny, but it's like... I don't think Batman would have heard him right there.
Yeah, as Batmobile entrances go, nothing beats Keaton. Get in the car.
Get in the car.
Tank.
I think that's good. I like it.
Yeah, I'm just being a stick in the mud. This does look like Chicago or something now.
Yeah, they got some of those Transformers sounds for the Batmobile. Like, no, please don't do that.
Yeah.
Granted, this movie beat Transformers to the punch.
Yes, yeah, sorry, yeah, 2005. I always have trouble pinpointing this movie. 2005, yeah. Transformers is 2007.
I think Batman is just showing a little too much concern for Rachel. I know that it's of course that he, you know, we know that, you know, that they've been friends since they were kids. But, you know, Keaton does it better. You know, he's got Vicky in the Batmobile, and like she's like, "Where are we going?" And he doesn't even look at her. Yeah, that's Batman.
Yeah. The problem with modern movies now is I always think of the memes, and I always think of that one where it's like when you put on a movie and your wife starts falling asleep, and then they just cut to Batman going, "Rachel!"
Is that how you feel when you watch movies with the wife?
No, we rarely fall asleep watching movies.
Nice.
Either of us.
You're a lucky guy.
Driving on the roof. Now, Driving on the Roof.
Is that all you can just leave it at that.
No, Driving on the Roof reminds me of I want to say some like early version of Batman Forever was going to have the Batmobile driving on the roof. Maybe I've mistaken something, or maybe it's in the comic book adaptation.
Oh,
maybe?
Yeah.
There's something about like spikes were going to come out of the tires, and so you could grip the roof better or something. I can't remember. Apologies,
you know,
listeners.
Janet Scott Batchelor the other day at Comic-Con was like, we didn't write that scene of the Batmobile going up the wall because how does he get down? This movie answers This movie answers that.
That is...
But what?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was 100% Joel. I think they were starting to rethink like editing the movie, and they were like, shit, we need an action scene. And I think it was all Joel's idea to drive the Batmobile up the wall.
Yeah. I have written down that, you know, the Tumbler like jumps that parking garage roof and lands on like a house, and like that house doesn't cave in.
That house presumably just has like rafters, like just wooden beams holding the roof up. I don't get it. He must just look so silly with his ass in the air as he's driving the Batmobile through the little thingy-majig. I never quite liked the Tumbler. Again, it was just initially the Tumbler, I was just like, what? That's not a Batmobile. But again, I did warm to it when the sequel came and we got the Batpod and everything. I thought the Batpod was much, much better. I'll do the Foley. Smash.
You don't need to for this scene, because I think the Foley's and the music are well balanced, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. After those exposition scenes that need work, you know, there's hardly any sound. It's all just Hans Zimmer, you know, shot, reverse shot, like.
Yeah.
And it's great that police were there with him. It's convenient that he had outrun the police by the time he, arrives at his hideout. That little sticky note on the cup was like, this arrived from Lucius Fox. Dear, or love Alfred, or whatever.
P.S. There's a sandwich for you.
She just doesn't seem very afraid, even though she was like in this exciting chase and was on drugs. Like, again, he's got the voice just right for this scene.
I always feel with the cowl, his mouth looks so small on this particular. His neck looks really thick, and his mouth looks really small. I think I prefer I do prefer the Dark Knight suit, the redesigned one. This one never quite worked for me, even though it's a little bit kind of Sonar suit-esque with the big back bat on the front.
Superhero stuff you should know absolutely despises like all three of these movies as far as the bat suit goes, because they ranked all the bat suits, and yeah, they
ranked them all.
This one was just like very bottom.
Yeah, it's probably bottom for me. Like, I'm sorry, I'm even putting Clooney's suit above it.
Well, Clooney's suit,
and it's controversial.
We sort of grew up with the Schumacher stuff, so we're a little biased, but
yeah, I'm talking about the ice suit.
That's true. That one was lame.
Reverse shot, reverse shot, reverse shot.
Alfred really pushing his luck and his authority here, just like yelling at Bruce, like, you have a name to maintain. Like, you can't tell these people to fuck off, and he just does it anyway. I'm totally with Bruce on this, and really cute how he just tells, like, Batman has never got a chance to do this on film. Just like go into his own house and be just like, all you people just like smile through your teeth. You're full of it. Get out.
Yeah, it's pretty satisfying. Man, I hope no one caught Alfred.
The golf clubs. That's great.
Oh, no, they do catch Alfred. Oh, man. Because this does not look... this looks pretty sus, as the kids say.
Well, what were they doing there? That was like the cook flirting with the the concierge. What was that? Oh, Scarecrow, you were just a pawn.
Yeah, I feel like Scarecrow should be the big bad. I don't love him being the kind of secondary henchman villain.
I don't know anyone who really was fond of that twist.
Which twist?
Well, the twist that Scarecrow is really working for Ra's al Ghul.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought you were talking about the big twist coming up, which is going to shock everyone.
I love a good whispering scene in every movie. I get the tingles when two actors just like, oh, there's something in the house. Edward Scissorhands has a great scene where it's just Diane Keaton like doing trying to fix his skin. She's just blending is the key. Mm-hmm. Who invited this asshole?
Oh my god!
You notice on his collar there, he's wearing the flower. That's
is he wearing the flower? Nice.
Yeah. That's Liam Neeson put in Bruce's. Like, he beats the crap out of him. He leaves him the pedal.
I like how he's also got the Ra's al Ghul kind of beard as well, the decoy guy. Almost feels like that's a prerequisite of being part of the League of Shadows. Everyone grows his beard. This is how they know.
You can tell Liam Neeson's beard is it's not his, it does look like a piece.
Yeah.
Kind of on the upper lip there.
Here we go.
Absolutely no one heard him, by the way. Yeah, party this big, you wouldn't be able to have a conversation without, it's like the way you speak to someone, in a nightclub.
Yeah, that's true. Just all the orchestra stuff playing.
Takes a gulp. Not finished.
It's such a neat way of, this is a smart way of getting everyone out. Bruce Wayne using his brains.
I don't know about that jerk that was like criticizing Bruce. I mean, it is his house,
Yeah.
He's not getting invited back, for the next one. What's with the cane? Is the cane a part of... Ra's al Ghul have a cane in like the animated series?
I'm trying to think. It's so long since I've seen any Ra's al Ghul episodes. I know he's got the big cloak. Does he have a cane? Yeah, maybe. Oh, yeah, maybe. Well, he normally has like a sword, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, that seems more appropriate.
He's always having sword fights. But yeah.
Whoa, shit.
Ooh. Whoa.
What's happening?
No, yeah, one of these guys, I think the bald guy is meant to be Mr. Zaz, who is a serial killer from the comic books who cuts little kind of marks on his skin every time he kills someone. Of course, he gets no lines in this movie and is barely seen, but yeah, he's there.
See, I like that though. You know, that's what was missing from Batman and Robin. So that all those Arkham scenes and like not one cameo.
Yeah, just
the costume vault was had movie the outfits of the previous villains, but like no Mad Hatter cameo or stuff like that.
That's it. That's yeah. But yeah, and you can see his little scars there when he turns his neck. Yeah, you could have just thrown some of the lesser villains that you clearly weren't going to get around to in the movies. Yeah, Mad Hatter would have been a good one. Ventriloquist would have been good. He's a great kind of crazy.
I don't even know who that is.
The ventriloquist, like a guy, the guy with the scarecrow, the Scarface doll.
Oh,
ventriloquist.
So Scarface, yeah, that's the doll. It's puppeteered by the ventriloquist.
And when he can't get the doll, he uses like a sock puppet called Socko. The Batman comics are just nuts, and yeah, they needed a bit more nuts, but hey.
So I think Raish is like, he's obviously upset. It's like,
you think? Yeah.
You punched me in the face, and like I almost got thrown off a cliff, and he was told by that old man that like Bruce Wayne saved your life, but that clearly wasn't enough to bury the hatchet here. Thank God someone's raising their voice in this movie. Everyone's just like, ever like this, Rachel.
Down at this level.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Is it?
Oh, yeah, it's a sword inside,
It's a sword with like inside a sheath, the cane, that's why.
Like a sheathed cane, yeah. Oh, very convenient girder there, or support beam falling on Bruce. Another injury.
That support beam came down quick because they literally started that fire like 20 seconds earlier. That beam was just probably ready to go.
Oh, I'm sorry. You said they started the fire like not long ago.
Yeah.
In the air. Oh, here comes the beam. It's just like a cliche. And there are a lot of cliches in the Nolan trilogy, but one of them is, one of my favorites is like, something that's just enough to like incapacitate a character, but not harm them in any way.
Yeah.
And Flash has a lot more screen time than I remember.
Yeah, he does, yeah. Is it Mark Boone Jr.? I can't remember if he was really in much else than this. I mean, obviously he did stuff, but like nothing as big as this.
I know him from Too Fast, Too Furious. He got the rat crawling around his belly.
Well, as we know, Chris Nolan is a huge fan of the Fast and Furious movies. So maybe that's where he clocked him and was just like, get me that guy.
I didn't know that. I'm like, what are you on about?
Yeah, no. He's definitely said that in an interview. Do you also do you know what Christian Bale's favorite movie is?
No.
Of all time.
What?
Beverly Hills Ninja with Chris Farley.
Know any lines? God, it's been 25 years since I've seen that movie, but love Chris Farley.
I love Chris Farley as well. I don't think I've seen it ever.
My name is Haru. I am a ninja from Beverly Hills.
I know it's got Robin Shou in though. Sorry, we should stop talking about Beverly Hills Ninja. I know it's got Robin Shou from Mortal Kombat, so I should check it out at some point. Oh no, the fatal stomach wound.
You better get out of that elevator. Debris is going to fall on your ass.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, we know, Alfred. Like, just posing that question again is insulting enough. But he did the because, and I'm just rolling.
Yeah.
All right, hour and 51 minutes. Gosh, in Batman
Wow,
Forever,
it's been quite quick actually.
Yeah, no, it has. But in Batman Forever, by now we'd be like,
wrapping up. Yeah.
We'd be at the epilogue. I'm both Bruce Wayne and Batman. Dark Knight Rises scene here.
Which one?
Well, the whole public riots during the third act.
Oh, right, yeah.
It's very kind of Nolan trilogy, there's...
At least it's not in daylight, and people are clearly not missing punches.
That's true. The Dark Knight Rises goes very RoboCop 3.
Yeah.
This is pretty dope, this monorail. There's lots of character to it.
It's a cool, just kind of quirky thing.
Absolutely.
Gives Gotham a bit of character.
For sure. And, the fucking... Sorry, what is going on? Puppy dog eyes, blonde kid is back, and that SWAT guy just... he swats him aside.
Slaps him in the face.
Who's this jerk? Oh, I'm sorry. He's not SWAT. He's fucking Ra's al Ghul's.
Oh, yeah. It's fake SWAT.
We have a machine that makes Transformers noise. And I'm sorry, what does this thing do?
So it evaporates all the water, which makes all the gas, the fear gas, kind of go into the Narrows.
Oh.
Now this bit, so my friend Mitch did get used as an extra and also worked as like a production kind of runner. He is in one of these scenes. I'll try and flag it when I see him. So they obviously shot loads of second unit stuff where it was just kind of people running around and you see his face for half a second. Lucky git.
So they're wearing gas masks, or they're not wearing gas masks. They're just wearing air filters so they don't breathe it. So that shows that this hallucinogenic, you have to breathe it. So it doesn't make you cry tears or anything. So why then would it affect Falcone in the first mask scene, or
yeah,
also Crane when he breathes it in and he hallucinates Batman's weird face? All he would have to do is just not breathe.
Yeah.
All right, this is awesome. He's suiting up. It's like that suit up scene, or he's getting all his gear together. It's there's a scene like this in Rambo First Blood Part 2 that I just absolutely adored when I was a teenager.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, another one, Commando.
Yes.
Yeah, Commando has that scene at the end where he gets off the raft, and that's just awesome.
Absolutely. This scene of him and the horse is cool.
Yeah, I really like the horse. There's an action figure on my desk called Dark Rider Batman. It's from the Legends of Batman. Kenner
Yeah,
line.
I know the one. Yep.
Yeah, and I had that toy when I was a kid. I still have that horse somewhere in my parents' basement, but I got this one new off eBay, and it's wonderful. For us, I was hoping that was for a moment, like we pan up, we see the horse coming in, like I was like, oh, we're gonna get Dark Rider Batman, but no.
Batman riding a horse. Did you get? Yeah, were you too old for the toys when Batman Begins came around?
Yes. In fact, I peeled off of action figures in like 2004 because literally I recall in 2003, I was a big fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at the time, and that whole line because, when I was a kid in the 90s, I loved the Ninja Turtles from the 80s, but I was disappointed that I had missed much of the Playmates toys line that they did for that show. And so when the 2003 cartoon came around, I got all of the Turtles, all of the villains, all the vehicles. I even got the sewer playset. But by the time this came around, 2005, I remember, was the year I got my first iPod. And so I was into just like music at the time.
Music and stuff, yeah. Yeah.
I loved collecting movie soundtracks at the time.
Yeah. They made some the toys for this weren't too bad. But they were like pretty much all Batman. You had like one Scarecrow, one Ra's al Ghul. The rest was all Batman. There was a cool play set where it was kind of like the tumbler and it opened out and it made the monorail, and then you could put like Ra's al Ghul and Batman on it, and it kind of like swung around.
That's pretty cool.
And it was really cleverly done because you could like fold it all back up, like the kind of monorail thing just kind of like folded back.
I love that.
Right, so coming up is my friend Mitch. Sorry, he's like one of these narrators guys looking up at Batman, freaking out. He is that guy. There you go. Sorry. It's blinking you miss.
Oh, I blinked. No, I definitely saw him. He's on there for I think twice we saw him there.
He said when they were filming it, there were loads of other people just like dicking around. Like there was a guy like trying to pretend to be like Superman and like doing the whole like arms out kind of running around. And he was like, dude, if you dick around, they're not going to put you in the movie.
What a buffoon. What's your friend Mitch up to these days?
I'm still good friends with him. He's the guy I make films with. So he directs and edits films.
Oh, shit.
So, yeah.
I love editing.
He got me. I've got somewhere some fake glass as well from one of these scenes where he was just like, they did a Batman. I think it was the scene where Batman falls out the window. He was like, they did a Batman scene where Batman fell out the window. I got you some glass, dude. And it's cool. I'd love to say he had more juicy gossip, but it was literally like, I brought Kenny Holmes a coffee once. Cool, dude. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, I wish we could get our inner gossip Gertie on for this podcast.
Yeah, I know.
I was going to say I wasn't even
love this scene.
I wasn't even aware of the toys at the time for this film. So, but what you described to me was seemed kind of lacking, except for that subway, the monorail bit with that sounded really cool. That Raish and Batman on the monorail.
Yeah, by the time this movie came out, just all the Nolan ones, they struggled a little bit with kind of what to do. Because it's like I think teenagers would be into this, but I don't know how much like kids would be really into it. Maybe this ending's pretty like people have said it's like it's from a different movie, compared to kind of where we were in the first hour. We're now like Gordon's driving a Batmobile and there's monorail out of control and Batman's hanging off, and this is much more sort of like a traditional Batman movie ending.
Getting Spider-Man 2 vibes off this.
Yes. That Spider-Man 2 bit's great.
I've always liked that look that Batman gives to Liam Neeson there. It says a lot. You know, I wish there were more examples of that in this movie, where it's just like show, don't tell.
Yes, yeah.
All the dialogue in this is very on the nose and obvious, and you know, it lacks subtext.
I think all Chris Nolan's films do, yeah.
Yeah.
That's a sweeping statement, but I'll stand by it.
Most of it's over-explained, but oh, I like that too. It's like POV front of the monorail.
Yeah, that's cool.
I mean, of course, we keep cutting back to these guys, like a fucking play-by-play on what's about to happen. That's kind of clunky, but that doesn't work for me at all. It's random guys. Nice ride. Yeah.
Nice coat. Nice ride.
We already had a joke about the car. Just seems kind of odd in the middle of this exciting scene. We already had a joke about the car earlier where it was like, Gordon's like, we need a car. And he says, I brought mine. So there you go. One and done.
Yes.
Gordon just like scored the kill shot. You got the high score on the arcade cab there.
Yeah. It's nice for Commissioner Gordon to have something to do by the end of the movie. Poor old Pat Hingle.
Mm-hmm. No, someone clearly went out of their way to give the commish a larger role. That's commendable. And there's that shot that's in all the trailers, him just...
Yes, it's a great shot.
Sweeping backwards out of the falling train.
And then it's just the little bit of kind of Liam Neeson kind of closing his eyes rather than being like, ah, like you would in like, I don't know, Die Hard or whatever. He just accepts it.
This kind of looks like miniature work.
Yeah, I was going to say that looks like miniatures.
Pretty seamless because I wasn't able to really identify what's a miniature and what's full scale. So, you know, there's that scene outside the cathedral in 89 where it's clearly the bat plane is like crashing into a miniature street. Like tiny little cars, micro machines.
Yeah, little corgi cars, yeah.
Right new one again. Would have been nice to have the commish. Like he just waves to him. Can we just get a little, yeah, go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Batman, page 1.
Drunken billionaire burns down home. I was trying to see if there's any good Easter eggs there. I missed it.
What I want to know is how they would come to the conclusion that I guess they're just assuming that the drunk rich guy burnt down his house. But, like, how do they know that?
True, Alfred's leaked it.
It's fake news for you.
Alfred's leaked the story. Did you get the memo?
Oh, that's a good... Yeah, that's payback for the...
There's a good...
The scene where he gets fired, yeah. Don't think Rutger Hauer's in any of the sequels.
No.
That's fine, you know. He's serves his purpose in the story, you know.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's done. But yeah. Oh, I hate her little lopsided smile. Sorry. Katie Holmes has this thing where she, like, her smile sort of like goes up on one side, but not the other side. It's really distracting.
She should get lessons from Clooney, how to smile from both sides. Wait a minute. Is she coming on to me?
I'm trying to think. Has Bale worked with any other Batman actors or anyone? Like, has he done any films with Clooney? No. Because I think a lot of the other ones have. Like, Chris O'Donnell did a thing with Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton's done stuff with... Oh, has he? Well, yeah, he's in Out of Sight, isn't he? So he's George Clooney, Michael Keaton. Whereas Bale's sort of like off on his own. I don't think he's interacted with anyone else.
Boy, that's a great nose on Bale.
It's a great nose, Drew. Yeah.
I could give a fuck what's happening in this scene here. I'm just, yeah.
Do we want to rank Batman noses?
Hey.
Are you putting Christian Bale at the top of your Batman nose?
Maybe next time.
Okay. That's a separate podcast, I think.
Oh, it's the, they got the hard hats that look like they're from Jurassic Park.
I was going to say, knowing Chris Nolan, he probably burnt down this house for real.
They're like loading the raptor crate. Oh, bit of Chris Reeve there with the hair over his...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Chris Reeve swirl there. I found the stethoscope.
Yeah, because his father was both a doctor and ran a huge multinational company. Like lots of people do.
As you do.
Maybe more billionaires should be doctors. Yeah.
Why has she not got a bra on? I'm sorry. That's the second time I've noticed that.
Sorry, she's not. All right. Okay. Also, that is distractingly England in the background. Sorry, that just does not look American. I have a similar issue with the Matt Reeves one, where they drive out of the cemetery at the end. It's clearly Britain somewhere.
Boop-a-dappa, 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 boop-a-dappa.
Got to end on the bad signal, because that's the thing we always do.
Sorry, this movie, like, from the first 10 seconds, that kind of leitmotif that Zimmer loves, it's plays almost over every scene. And I mentioned that, like, it's, you know, he has to carry a lot of these scenes because there's next to no Foley and it's mostly just score. So, but it's unfortunate that they put him through that. You mentioned James Newton Howard, and I completely forgot that he worked on this with Zimmer.
I think even James Newton Howard forgot. He's great. I love James Newton Howard. He has like certain tracks in his scores which are fantastic, but like as a whole, he's not like a great but like he'll often have just like one amazing track. Like he's got one called Swimming from Waterworld, which is just fantastic. And the rest of the score is fine. It is good, but that one track is like amazing. But anyway.
And the Joker card reveal.
Yep, Joker card reveal. Bum bum. And that's your title as well. There's no title at the start. So.
Yeah. Batman Begins to End. It's funny, it said begins, but we're at the end.
Should say Batman Ends. Oh, if they'd done that, they should have had Batman Begins at the start and then Batman Ends at the end of the movie. But anyway.
The end of Batman Begins.
Batman Begins has ended. Based upon character. Oh, we're not crediting. Oh, we are crediting Bob Kane. Yeah,
I
did think. Yeah.
Well, I thought you were going to mention Bill Finger for a second.
Yeah, I was going to say it was maybe the next one or Dark Knight Rises. One of them, he finally got a credit, and I think it was probably the last one. I can't even remember. Is Bob Kane's dead at this point?
Yeah,
I think might be right. I mean, obviously he's dead now, but I think it was only after he had died that his estate like sorted out like giving Bill Finger a credit. I don't think Bob Kane would have done that. Nathan Crowley, production designer.
It was kind of surreal to see Michael Uslan's credit there because I met him a month ago, and like I basically consider him a friend now. Because
awesome.
He expressed interest in doing a podcast with us.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And I messaged him on Instagram, and you may have to do that several times before you get his attention.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I understand.
I don't know what to talk about. Quite frankly, Ben Wan already did that very well.
I'm sure we could find stuff to ask him about. We could put our heads together.
Tell me a bit more about how you felt at the time, seeing it in the cinema.
Honestly, a little bit disappointed. Again, like I say, because I'd read that I shouldn't have read that script. I can't remember where I got it from. It was on like superherohype.com or something like that, and some guy was handing it out, and I was like, yeah, I'll read that, and read it and was just like, well, that was fine. And then when I saw the film, I was like, oh shit, no, I really did read it. Okay, I've got like no surprises coming. So it did kind of kill the enthusiasm. And then I remember just like not being that fussed, and I remember not getting the DVD for a while. Because I mean, I was probably, I was out of uni then and probably really broke. So buying DVDs was probably not a priority at that point. So yeah, it took a while for me to come around. And then when Dark Knight came out, I was like, do you know what? Maybe I'll go back and I'll give it another watch. And yeah, I liked it a bit more. And then since then, I've probably watched it like 2 or 3 more times, and I like it a little bit more every time. But I'm never like a Chris Nolan. I just don't think I'm a Chris Nolan fan. And I know people are a fan of his stuff and absolutely love it. And, are desperate for the next great Chris Nolan masterpiece. But I'm always a little bit like, he's just not quite for me. His movies are a bit cold. They're a little bit, like we've discussed, like they're a little bit kind of on the nose in terms of the dialogue,
robotic,
and it's just not robotic is the perfect word. Like he's not like, and like there's other filmmakers like that you could throw that accusation at, but like it's like Ridley Scott has like an amazing eye, and certain films of his are like just beautiful painterly quality to them. And other film, James Cameron, incredibly kinetic, kind of fast-paced, kind of, it's kind of cheesy, but sort of like knows it and kind of knows how to work with it. Whereas Chris Nolan, I just don't come away from his films loving them. I own this trilogy, and that's kind of it. I don't think I own any other ones. What about you? What was your feeling coming out?
I liked it at the time, but something was missing. It lacks personality, but it's commendable that just it is its own thing. I like how different it is. I can always commend even Man of Steel to an extent. I can kind of admire that it was something just totally different than what came before. Sitting here now, having seen it for the first time in 8 years, I feel kind of empty, I suppose. Not a lot to say about it.
Okay.
It doesn't leave...
But are you a fan of Nolan's stuff? Do you own any of his other movies? Do you go back to any of his other movies?
I do not. I liked Memento. I saw that a long time ago.
I need to go and see that again. Yeah.
I like that scene of Carrie-Anne Moss spits in his drink and 30 seconds later he forgets it. He just serves it to him.
Yeah. That's a movie where the mechanicalness kind of works in sync with the story, because it's about a guy who is living a really mechanical life because he has to, he can't remember, after a certain period he can't remember stuff, so he is a mechanical person. Whereas Batman, I don't feel is a mechanical person. I don't know, maybe he is, I don't know. But
this movie doesn't feel bold enough, and that's to do with it doesn't feel like they took any risks, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So it might be unfair to compare it to Batman 1989, but I'm just using Batman 1989 as an example. The first ever live action Batman movie, it was a big gamble. And, Michael Uslan at Comic-Con recently, after he had seen enough of the Adam West TV show, he said, I'm going to make it my life's mission to eliminate Biff Bam Pow from the public conscious. And so, yeah. And by the way, Tim Burton was basically a first-time director, and he had done Pee-wee and Beetlejuice, I think.
Yeah, it's only 2, yeah.
But it just felt like a big gamble. In terms of just building the world, building this Gotham City where, in quotes, a city that looks like hell had risen from the concrete. And with this, it is different. I commend it for doing something different. But there's a quote Kevin Smith had where he says that at the time, it just felt so earnest. And so for me, it's it was just a miss, not a complete miss, but a miss nonetheless. It wasn't a hit for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that's okay, you can like whatever you want, you can dislike whatever you want.
It would be really boring if they were still making Tim Burton Batman movies or Joel Schumacher Batman movies today. It's a character that thrives on being different and doing different stuff.
Yeah, let's not do the same thing for 40 years. Let's mix it up a little and see what works and what doesn't work. Did you think The Dark Knight was better?
I liked it more, and I think watching this again, I realized why. Because Batman Begins is hey, do you want to know how he got his suit? Do you want to know how he got his helmet? Do you want to know how he got his Batmobile?
Yeah.
Do you want to know how he got his cape? No, I don't. I don't care. I don't give a shit. Just put him in an adventure, and The Dark Knight puts him in an adventure, and it's kind of cool. And Michael Caine is much better in that movie. I like him in that movie. And yeah, I think The Dark Knight is the better movie. I don't know about Dark Knight Rises. I mean, I go, back and forth on that one. Sometimes I really like it, and other times I'm you're trying to wrap everything up in
I think this trilogy showed audiences where Batman could go and could not go.
Yeah.
And just partly to do with Nolan being such a divisive director. He definitely has his haters and he definitely has his fans. How would you rank the trilogy? Like, do you like the second one the most?
Yeah, I would go Dark Knight, then Dark Knight Rises, and then I'd put Batman Begins at the bottom. I'm sorry, Batman Begins.
I'm like in the opposite boat.
There's some really cool stuff in Rises, just on an idea scale of like him getting beaten and having to pick himself up that I really like.
This is actually my favorite of the Nolan trilogy. So my order would be.
Oh, really?
I like them in descending order. So 1, 2, then 3.
Descending, yeah.
Yeah, but honestly,
yeah,
it's kind of a stretch to even call it my favorite because they're all kind of
part of. Yeah,
they're all fine. You know, I've seen them, and then like I hadn't thought about them in a really long time.
Yeah.
I probably won't watch them again for another 8 or so years, but I think you said it best. I think this movie demystified Batman.
Marshal Wayne, are you coming back to Lonesome?
As long as it takes to show the people of Gotham their city doesn't belong to the criminals and the corrupt.
Bruce?
Rachel?
You were gone a long time.
I know.
Things are worse than ever down here. What chance does Gotham have when the good people do nothing?
Nomex survival suit for advanced infantry. Kevlar utility harness, gas-powered magnetic grapple gun. What's that? On the tumbler? Well, you wouldn't be interested in that.
I spent a lot of time being scared for you. I heard you were back. But the man I loved, the man who vanished, never came back.
He's here. Who? The Batman. Gotham must be destroyed. Gotham isn't beyond saving. Where are you?
Guy dresses up like a bat clearly has issues.